Several officials from the Mangaung Correctional Services Center in the Free State have been served with suspension notices, while three others face investigations. The acting National Commissioner of the Department of Correctional Services, Makgoti Tubakale, has confirmed the suspensions linked to the daring escape of convicted Facebook rapist Thabo Bester from the Mangaung prison. Bester is still on the run, but Tubakale is confident he'll be rearrested soon. Let's go to our senior reporter Silindelo Masikane, who's following the story and its developments. She is live for us in Bloemfontein. So, Slee, it looks like the DCS is cracking the whip. Too little, too late, maybe?
Look, I think at this point, any kind of intervention is going to be welcomed not only by the public, but of course the justice system in particular, because I mean, we know that Mangaung prison is a C-max prison. That means that we have people that have been convicted of very heinous crimes, dangerous people who are housed here. And following the investigations by DCS, they have found that there are serious lapses in security at this particular prison, and that essentially DCS needs to come in and take over and restore law and order within this particular facility. One of those interventions is invoking Section 112 of the Correctional Services Act. That means that DCS has officially taken over the running of Mangaung prison. Let's take a listen.
The findings of the report points to the fact that the director of Mangaung Correctional Services Center has lost effective control of the facility. Amongst other factors, the Correctional Services Act does provide for a mechanism to restore safety and security by taking control of the correctional center by means of appointing a temporary manager. This will mean that this temporary manager will perform the functions of the director. In this instance, I have appointed Mr. Patrick Ali Mashabatagha as the temporary manager of Mangaung Correctional Facility with immediate effect.
And Slee, we're hearing about suspensions as well. Just tell us more about that. The number of people suspended, is it G4S, DCS?
So the officials that have been suspended are in particular from DCS, and they are the ones that are essentially tasked with the oversight of the private-public partnerships of these prisons like Mangaung prison, and they're saying that these officials in particular played a role in terms of the delays in the investigation as well as the lack of oversight in the running of Mangaung prison. We are still inside, but we are on tight on time, Masego, but I just wanted to show our viewers, in essence, we're at the very beginning of the prison, if I could say, just as you enter in the administration block. This is where, of course, you would find staff changing shifts, as well as visitors who are coming to perhaps visit their loved ones inside the prison. This is the first point of entry into this particular prison, and so the officials that have been suspended are in essence the ones from DCS who were supposed to ensure that this escape by Thabo Bester did not happen, and the fact that it did means that there are some security breaches that need to be attended to here. Let's take a listen.
Tampering with surveillance cameras points to a failed monitoring system, deliberately orchestrated to conceal crucial evidence and individuals who aided Bester to escape. This is also a failure to guarantee safe custody of inmates and a breach in terms of the responsibilities allocated to the contractor. Failures from the contractor do not exonerate the officials in the employ of the Department of Correctional Services. These are officials who are tasked with specific responsibilities to oversee and monitor operations at Mangaung Correctional Facility. They ought to be in line with the Correctional Services Act and the concession contract. In this regard, the Director Contract Management based at our head office, the DCS Controller, at Mangaung Correctional Facility and the Deputy Controller have been served with suspension notices. And also as a result, the Departmental Investigation Unit has started looking into the conduct of these three officials and any other official that would be found wanting as a result of the findings and recommendations of the investigation report.
I remember just a few weeks ago when we found out about this Thabo Bester story, the spokesperson of DCS, Singabakho Nxumalo, was very adamant that they were correct, that he died last year. So what took them so long for investigations to conclude that, in fact, that body wasn't his?
So a number of factors were involved essentially in why investigations took long, but it does seem as though that G4S in particular was not being forthcoming with the information that DCS needed in order to provide a fully comprehensive report or to fully finalize their reports. And of course the officials that have been suspended from the DCS department, they also seemingly played a role in slowing down the finalization of the reports in terms of the information that they were receiving, but not actually taking up to the National Commissioner's office. In particular, you would remember there was an issue around the post-mortem report and Ground Up, the publication that wrote up this expose on this escape plan. They had inquired with DCS with regards to the post-mortem, DCS saying that they didn't have it, and then Ground Up essentially publishing that post-mortem, and that is because these officials that have been suspended were sitting on that post-mortem report and not actually taking it up to the higher officers like the Commissioner's office in order for the investigations to be finalized as soon as possible. So those are just one of the reasons why these officials have been suspended, and one of the reasons, of course, why DCS is seemingly now taking action after acknowledging that there have been some serious lapses in security operations in this particular prison. So let's take a listen.
The matter of why we took long as the department to pronounce on the results of the investigation is because the investigation itself took long. We were finished with the DNA results and the post-mortem report in the month of October, whilst we were busy doing the investigation. A draft report on the investigation was submitted to the director, contract management, in December, and the final report was only submitted to the Office of the National Commissioner on the 22nd of March 2023. Now this is one of the reasons why some of these officials have been served with suspension notices, because we have identified that the investigation process was not managed properly.
A lot doesn't make sense and is very suspicious in this particular case. Silindelo Masikane, our senior reporter, live for us at that Mangaung Correctional Center in the Free State.